instructions. That means that that is your questions. Okay, so that question will be available in the your at the time of the exam, that in your WhatsApp group. Okay, you collect from there. And second thing is that you write down your answer in your copies, okay, A4 paper copy. And in the A4 paper copy, and you font you write down the your mid-sem exam and the whatever the your university name, okay, and your college name, then your roll number, okay, and paper code, paper name. So everything you write down in the front page. Then you can write down your the answer in your copy. So after the exam is completed, then you take the your that is scan, okay, scan copy of this your answer script. That should be the your PDF format, not JPG and other, okay. So it should be the PDF format and in a single file. So all your answer script should be the in a PDF file, and that should be the in a single PDF file, okay. And after this, then you rename your this PDF. That should be the your university 8-digit roll number. So you write down your university 8-digit roll number in your that is your PDF file. Okay, clear up to this? Hello. And after that, you submit your answers copy. So in your Google form. So that Google form link will be available in your question instruction questions. Okay. So in the question at the bottom end, that have the your link is there. So you click this link. Okay. Then the Google form will be open. Okay. After this, you fill up your name, roll number, etc. So after filling this, then you the second sections of this that is your Google form, that is your upload. There is a upload option is there. Okay. Now you click this upload button, and then you can select, and then you upload your answer script. Okay. And this answer script will be automatically stored in my Google that is the Google Drive. Okay. And I am collecting from there. After that, you will publish. Okay. Clear?
Sir,
Any
timings
doubt?
of the exam?
Timing exam 2 to 3. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. 3rd June. Okay. So if any problem will be arise, then you call within the time. Okay. You call me or you message me within the time. Okay. And no other will be, that is you send your copy in your WhatsApp. So that will be not collected. Okay. So then if any problem, then I give the your any that is the options. Okay. Then you can only submit this. Okay. So everyone have to submit this Google using this Google form. Okay, because it will be the easiest and for the your collecting the your paper copy. Okay, I download from the your Google Drive, then it will be easiest. Okay, but if it is not possible to send the your mail, because mail will be the full, then it will be a problem. Okay, so you have to submit this, and then I collect from the your answer from the your Google Drive. And if any circumstance, any problem will be arise, then I can resolve this. Okay, clear? And yes, you have to submit the your 2 to 3 p.m. within the 2 to 3 p.m. Okay, so I will give the 15 minutes for more extra time. Okay,
So
so that
scanning
is a
and submitting
3:15.
will need some time, sir.
Okay, 15 minutes is enough, na? 15 to 20 minutes.
So other teachers give 15 minutes before the exam start and after the exam finish also 15 minutes.
After the exam, after the exam. So 2 to 3 p.m. your exam time. Okay, and there have the your 15 minutes extra. So this link will be open 15 minutes more. Okay, then after then the your then the 15 minutes, after the 15 minutes at 3:15, then it will be closed. Okay. So if any problem is arise, then you contact me within the time. Okay. So after the exam will be over and finished, then that is 3:15 minutes is over, then you call me. So that will not granted. Okay. And your exam, that is syllabus. So you know the exam syllabus. Hello?
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
Okay, so no question coming from the your syllabus is up to the your that is the error detection and corrections. Okay, that your PPT I already shared your I think in the WhatsApp group. You seen?
There are 10
In your
PPTs.
in your WhatsApp group.
Sir,
In your
there are
WhatsApp
10
group that
PPTs, still error. Error is number 10.
up to error the 10 up to error. Hello, up to error detection and correction.
यस सर एरर तक ही आया है।
हाँ बेहतर ओके क्लियर तो एग्जाम के लिए सब कुछ आप तो एग्जाम के लिए कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी का
तो क्वेश्चन पैटर्न কিরকম হবে
প্যাটার্ন যেরকম হয় 20 মার্কস কোশ্চেন ঠিক আছে যেখানে থাকবে তো 10 মার্কস করে 10 মার্কস করে তিনখানা কোশ্চেন থাকবে দুটো কোশ্চেন করতে হবে অপশন ইজ देयर ওকে so you have to choose the two options any two not you write down the three questions okay so that should be so I can take the any of the first two or any okay so you only answer the two that is the questions okay so 10 10 10 so 30 marks question is there and you only answer the 20 marks okay any two options question ছোট কি 20 মার্কসের কোশ্চেন তো
না 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 না
sir 5 marks
Syllabus,
question
syllabus.
ওরকম বলছে sir।
হ্যাঁ সেরকমই আছে 10 মার্কসের 10 মার্কস কি হয় 10 মার্কসের মধ্যে ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন আছে
সিলেবাসটা একটু কি ছোট করা যাবে অনেকটা আছে স্যার
মনে একটা কোথায়
এটা খুব
Error
শর্ট টার্ম হয়ে
question-
যাচ্ছে না পরশুদিন exam।
স্যার ক্লাসও হচ্ছে আর পড়তে হবে স্যার তো অনেকটাই
কারণ স্যার প্যারালাল
বড়
ক্লাসও
syllabus।
চলতে থাকবে আর এক্সামও চলবে সবাই একসাথে আর খুব শর্ট টাইমে আমরা নোটিশটা পেয়েছি মানে কালকেই আমরা জানতে পেরেছি এক্সাম হবে এইভাবে।
হ্যাঁ আমি তো যে
ব্যাপারটা
নোটসগুলো
খুব-
পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছিলাম আমি তো নোটসগুলো পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছিলাম ওর জন্য আমি তো পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছি অনেকদিন আগে পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছি গুগল ড্রাইভে তো আমি গুগল বলছি হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে তো আমি শেয়ার করে দিয়েছি পাইছিস তোরা আগেও পাঠিয়েছিলাম মনে হচ্ছে আবার রিপিট করে আমি পুরোটাই পাঠিয়ে দিলাম 10টা স্লাইড আছে বেশি তো নেই আরো
নোটস ফ্রাইডে
পরে-
এসেছে স্যার
পরে
স্যার ফ্রাইডে
পরে-
নোটস এসেছে অনেক বড় বড় স্যার
হ্যাঁ পরেরটা কিন্তু আরো সিলেবাস পুরো বাকি আছে এক্সামের সময় কি করবি তখন আরো সিলেবাস পুরো সিলেবাস এখনো অনেকটাই বাকি আছে এই তো 1/3 হয়েছে বুঝেছিস বেশি কোশ্চেন আমি কোশ্চেনও বলে দিচ্ছি প্রবলেম বেসড একটা দুটো আছে প্রবলেম আছে আর ম্যাক্সিমাম ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টার মানে ফার্স্ট ইয়ার থেকেই বেশি আছে ঠিক আছে এতে আর কি বলবো প্রবলেম বেস কিছু আছে ঠিক আছে প্রবলেম গুলো আর ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টার থেকে আছে কিছু কোশ্চেন ঠিক আছে কারণ কোশ্চেন হয়ে গেছে রেডি হয়ে গেছে কোশ্চেন
স্যার
হ্যাঁ
স্যার বলছি ফ্রন্ট পেজ কি আমরা ইউনিভার্সিটির যে ফ্রন্ট পেজ আছে ওটা ইউজ করব নাকি নিজেদেরকে
যেটা
নিতে
যেটা
হবে?
যেটা 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 সব এক্সামে দিচ্ছিস তো ওরা প্রতিটা এক্সামে
মানে
দিচ্ছিস
ইউনিভার্সিটির ফ্রন্ট পেজটা যেটা আমরা সেমি ইউজ করি
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ যেটা যেটা দিচ্ছিস সেটা তো আছে তোদের কাছে
আছে ফরম্যাটটা আছে আমাদের কাছে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ তা সেটাই করে দিবি
ওকে
এটা তো অফিসিয়ালি এটা 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 তো আর এমনি পরীক্ষা না এটা অফিসিয়ালি পরীক্ষা নিয়ে হচ্ছে তাই না এবারে এই ডকুমেন্টস গুলো থাকবে যখন কোনো ভেরিফিকেশন হবে তখন তো এগুলো আমাদের সোয়াপ করতে হয় না শো করাতে হয় না বুঝতে পেরেছিস
হ্যাঁ
আচ্ছা,
স্যার আর
সেখানে-
A4
সেখানে একটা একটা কেউ খাতা মানে একটা ইয়ে পেজের মধ্যে ছেঁড়া পেজের মধ্যে লিখে answer ভালো করে দিল না সেটা কি মানে ঠিকঠাক নয় না বুঝতে পেরেছি কথাটি বলতে চাইছি যে
হ্যাঁ,
পরীক্ষাটা পরীক্ষার মতো দেওয়াটা কেউ একটা ধর মানে অর্ধেকটা ছেঁড়া আছে পেজটা অর্ধেকটা ছেঁড়া পেজের মধ্যে লিখে যেমন তেমন করে দিয়ে দিল তো নয় এটা অনলাইন হলেও সেটা তো সেরকম ভাবে পরীক্ষা দিতে হবে বুঝলি সেরকম ভাবে দিলে আর এগুলো তো আমাদের রেখে দিতে হচ্ছে না ডকুমেন্টস গুলো তোদের যেগুলো সেমিস্টারের পরীক্ষা দিয়ে সেই ডকুমেন্টসও আমাদেরও রেখে দিতে হচ্ছে ঠিক আছে যেগুলো তো এগুলো তো
A4 পেজের উপর কি লিখতে হবে এমনি রোল নাম্বার
যা আছে যা লেখা আছে দেখবি এই
আচ্ছা।
এমনি তো এগুলো তো ফ্রন্ট পেজে দিয়ে আছে
যদি ইনস্ট্রাকশন দেওয়া আছে ওইভাবেই লিখবো তাই তো
কোনটা
মানে ইউনিভার্সিটির যে ফ্রন্ট পেজে ইনস্ট্রাকশন গুলো
হ্যাঁ
দেওয়া
যেমন দেওয়া থাকে যেমন পরীক্ষা দিয়েছিস তো
হ্যাঁ
আগে সেমিস্টার পরীক্ষা দিয়েছিস না? আগে সেমিস্টার গুলোতে যেন যখন ফিজিক্যাল ক্লাস হতো তখন দিয়েছিস তো, রোল নাম্বার লিখতে হতো, হ্যাঁ, সাবজেক্ট
পেপার
নিতে
কোড।
হতো, পেপার কোড লিখতে হতো।
ওকে
যেমন ঠিক আছে। এবারে সেটা তখন হার্ড কপি নেওয়া হতো, এখন সেটা ছবি তুলে ব্যাপারটা নেওয়া হচ্ছে। এবারে যদি আমাদের হার্ড কপি মানে যখন সাবমিট করে তখন এগুলো প্রিন্ট আউট করে সাবমিট করে নেওয়া হতো, বুঝতে পেরেছিস? তখন সেটা এক্সট্রা খরচা।
স্যার।
তো কিন্তু ডকুমেন্টসটা রাখতে হচ্ছে, বুঝেছিস? তখন ভেরিফিকেশন হয়ে যাবে, তখন ডকুমেন্টস যদি কোনো কিছু ই করে তো তার জন্য যেরকম ভাবে পরীক্ষা দেয় সেরকম ভাবে দেওয়াটাই ভালো হয়। ঠিক আছে। আর ফাইলটার নাম রোল নাম্বার ওয়াইজ লিখতে বললাম, কারণ এটা আমাদের দেখতে সুবিধা বা শর্ট আউট করতে সুবিধা হবে। ঠিক আছে, রোল নাম্বার ওয়াইজ দেখতে সুবিধা, তাই না? যে কেউ কারোর নাম লিখে দিলে তাহলে আমাদের নাম ধরে ধরে রোল নাম্বার খুঁজতে হবে, অনেক সমস্যা। তো নাম না লিখে জাস্ট 8 ডিজিট রোল নাম্বার লিখবে, তাহলেই পরপর সাজিয়ে যাবে, কালেক্ট করতে সুবিধা হবে। ফাইলগুলো তো ওইভাবে ইয়ে হয়ে যাবে না। আর না হলে তো নাম ধরে ইয়ে করলে নাম ধরে আবার খুঁজে খুঁজে বার করতে হবে, সেটা নাম লেখার দরকার নেই, শুধু জাস্ট 8 ডিজিট রোল নাম্বার লিখলেই হয়ে যাবে। তারপর তো ফাইলটা খুলে দেখবো আমরা, পিডিএফটা খুলে দেখবো। ঠিক আছে, ডোন্ট ওয়ারি, অত চিন্তার কিছু নেই, এত বড় সিলেবাস কিছু নেই, কোশ্চেন খুব ইজি। হ্যাঁ, তো বললাম প্রবলেম বেসড, আর চ্যাপ্টার থেকে পরীক্ষা দিলেই বুঝতে হবে কত কোশ্চেন, কত ভয় কার কিছু নেই। ঠিক আছে, তো কিছু বলবে?
না স্যার।
আর কিছু কোশ্চেন, এনি কোশ্চেন্স?
স্যার একটু
No,
সাজেশন হলে ভালো হতো, বা মানে প্রবলেম বেস যেটা বলছেন ওগুলো কিরকম টাইপের, এটা একটু যদি আপনি একটু বলতেন।
প্রবলেম আমি প্রচুর করেছি বাবা, প্রবলেম করেছি, দেখ এরর কারেকশন, এরর ডিটেকশন থেকে প্রচুর প্রবলেম করেছি বলেছি, তাই না? তারপর তোদের ওই কি বলে আমাদের ওই মেসেজ সিগন্যাল থেকে অনেকগুলো কোশ্চেন মানে প্রবলেম দেখিয়েছি মেসেজগুলো থেকে। হ্যাঁ, তো ইয়েগুলো যখন সিগন্যাল নয়েজ কি করে বার করা হয়, নয়েজ রেশিও কি করে বার করা হয়, ওগুলো করেছি তো পিপিটিতে, মনে পড়ছে?
ইয়েস স্যার, ইয়েস ইয়েস।
হ্যাঁ, ওই প্রবলেমগুলো করেছি, তাহলে ওইগুলো প্রবলেম হলো। ঠিক আছে, আর থিওরি কোশ্চেনের মধ্যে যেমন ধর মডেল, ওএসআই মডেল আছে, ঠিক আছে, ওএসআই মডেল, তারপরে তোর বিভিন্ন ধরনের টপোলজি গুলো আছে, মেশ টপোলজি, এইচ টপোলজি কিভাবে এটা দেখা হয়, তারপরে তোদের ওই যেগুলো পড়ালাম ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ মিডিয়া, গাইডেড মিডিয়া, আনগাইডেড মিডিয়া। হ্যাঁ, তারপরে তোর এইসব থিওরি কোশ্চেন গুলো, থিওরি এগুলো কোশ্চেন থাকবে। ঠিক আছে, আর ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টার গুলো বেশি করে করি, ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টারটা আরো বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, বলেই দিলাম। ফার্স্ট চ্যাপ্টার মানে হচ্ছে তোর ওই টপোলজি অ্যান্সার এগুলো। 3টে কোশ্চেন আছে, 3টে কোশ্চেন মানে 2টো কোশ্চেন করতে হবে, অত চাপ কি আছে? পারবি সব পারবি। তারপর তো আমি আছি, আবার চিন্তা করছি। ঠিক আছে, দেন স্টার্ট করা যায়
ওকে
নাকি?
স্যার।
আচ্ছা, ইয়ে ল্যাব নিয়ে বলছিলাম, ল্যাবটা সবাই করেছিস ওটা, প্রোগ্রামটা?
স্যার ফাইলটা কপি হচ্ছে কিন্তু একটু গন্ডগোল হচ্ছে, লেখাটা কন্টেন্ট কপি হচ্ছে না ঠিক করে,
লেখায় কন্টেন্টে
কপি হচ্ছে না।
লেখার কন্টেন্টে কপি হচ্ছে না, কেন হবে না? সবারই একই প্রবলেম? ফাইল মানে হচ্ছে ফাইল, বলো, হ্যালো বলো। हाँ हाँ, हेलो।
Yes, sir, completed.
वो तो completed बोलो। और किसके प्रॉब्लम है? কন্টেন্টে কপি হচ্ছে না কেন? কন্টেন্ট তো কপি হবে। ফাইল প্রোগ্রামিং জানা আছে? ইউ নো দ্য ফাইল প্রোগ্রামিং ইন সি? হ্যালো, you know the file programming in C language? So you read the file from the client end line wise, okay, and you send it to the server, and server in the server they have create the file, and they have then these receive your text, receive actually the string will be right in your server side file. then this will be transfer. All the content will be transferred from the client to end until the end of file will be there. বুঝা গেল? Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this way you have to copy the from the client end to your server end. Okay, so let's start now. Move to the your now that today I want to explain about the new part of the your data link layer. So data link layer, and that means actually the when the your message or the data will be passed from the your physical layer to your network layer. So the intermediate that is there, that your data link layer will be work. Okay, so actually the you have to send the your data from the server to client actually. Okay, so now in this data, so how to control the data? Okay, so there have the so many problem will be coming, so, like that. So when you passing the your suppose the your message from the your sender to receiver, then that is the your for your the network congestion. So some of the case the data will be that is the wait for the longer time. Okay, but the receiver cannot receive this. Okay, so then that time that their problem will be arise. Second way, the second thing that the so when you sending the data, so some of the case the your data some of the data speed will be the higher, some of the data speed will be lower. Okay, when the you have to send it then and after the receiver receive, then you send it, or you parallelly send the block of the data. Okay, now the your how to you manage. So this management is it happen in your data link layer. Okay, or another thing for the receiving end. So so the when the sender send the five messages or data. Okay, so then the receiver is cannot receive the all the data. Actually receiver is receive all the data, or there have some problem will be arise, or when how the your sender will be knows the receiver is not received. How the your receiver that is sender will knows the receiver is not received all the message. Okay, so this control will be happened in this layer, actually data link layer. So this is called the your DLC. Okay, so in the DLC, so in the data link layer, they have to control this part. Okay, so that is happen in your MAC. Okay, so MAC layer. So in the MAC, they have to, so you know that the there have the physical address of the your network, so that is machine to machine they have to communicate. So data link layer actually the own group, so they have to communicate. Okay, but the network layer means that one group, the some of the machine will be contact to your other group of the network. Okay, but then the data link layer will be happen, so point to point, so that is peer to peer they have to communicate. Okay, so now you see. So so you know there is a framing concept. So in the framing concept is happened in our this layer. Okay, so this data link layer. So framing means that, so in the physical layer we have received the so many that is the bits of the your data. Now from this the bits of the data we have we have to categorize or the split this block into the frame. Okay, now you have to collect the suppose the 8-bit data. Okay, and then you generate the one frame. Okay, this way you have to generate the so many frames. And you know in the frame, so there have two part of the framing concept. So middle portion is the your data part. So in the data part there have the 8-bit data is there. Okay, now in the beginning and the your that is the ending, so there have two header. One is the head that is the another is your framing tails. Okay, so that means that your when where the your actually framing start and where it is ended, so you can know from there. Okay, so this is happen, and you see, so this is called the header and the your tailor, and the middle portion there have the your data part. Okay, and flag is actually used for the your it is available or not. So this actually included in your header portions. Okay, so header is the that is the stored the your heading portion. So that is the your framing starting portions, and tail means that and there the your data is ended. So you know and can understand the in from the frame where it is started and where it is ended. Okay, so this is the your frame. Now the now you see, so there have the data parts and data parts there have the so many, so your bytes of your suffering or unsuffering. So this is the your actually is the suppose the your our data is not full. Some of the cases data is not fully. Okay, now you can write know the your information. Okay, so that is the your sender and the receiver information. So receiver receive this frame and then have to set the some of the that is the you collected or not, or that is verified or not. Okay, so this has happened. So now this is the example. Okay, so that is the bits of the data, also many, and this is a header portion. That is the they can understand the from the header. So actually the you know the error correction and error detections. So there have the your bar your that is the your error. Okay, so actually this CRC or the anything. So this stuffing will be stored into the your header portions. Okay. So this is the pattern. Now the error control and the flow control. So now how that is the you know that the error control will be controlled by there are so many that is a strategy is there. Now from this you can understand the where the error is there and what are the errors, different type of error you know. Okay, and the flow control is that when the your suppose you have to sending the data. So now you send the when you send it. So what will be the your network speed and what will be the your network transitions. Okay, and your that is that receiver will be received this and that, and first after the first is it will be completed. First it is the suppose send it, then for the next your when you send the next frame, then when you have to send. Okay, but after sending the first frame, then after which time you send it. Okay, send it as your second frame. Okay, so this verification, so you know that your media and then the your they have congestion is present or not. So you can first you know and then you can send it. So this actually discussion will be happen in our in your flow control area. Okay, so now so now in the protocol base, so we have there is a two type of protocols we have to use. One is used for your noisy channel. Okay, so now you sending the data in the channel, so there have the noisy channel. Some of the channel will be noisy. If there is a noisy channel is there, then we have to follow the three of the your and that is the your checking algorithm. So that is a stop and wait ARQ and go back in ARQ and the your selective ARQ. Okay, so if there is a noisy, okay, suppose the noise is there, okay, in the channel, then you have to follow these three. And if there is a noise less channel, then you have to that is use a protocol that is stop and wait protocol, that is stop and wait, and then your simply. Okay, so this is used for your noisy network.
Sir, what is
Now
the meaning
in the noisy channel
and noiseless channel?
noiseless means that suppose there have no noise is added. Okay, noise means that you know unwanted that is your unwanted your noise, actually the unwanted your signal. Okay, that is the unwanted signal will be added with the original signal. This is called the noise. Noise is the unwanted signal. So actually you send your signal. So or you say that bitwise. Okay. So signal means that that is signal is the when you signal to convert, that is the analog part. Now it will be your digital way. Okay. So it's digital. So now in our frame or there are so many bits is there. Now one extra bit will be added. Okay. So this is called the error. Logically you say the error. Okay. So if there is a actual data and actual data will be added, some of the data will be changed or some of the data will be added, so then it is called your noisy. Okay, so there have suppose the unwanted your data or unwanted your signal will be there. Okay, now if they are sending the original signal or the original data, then the other will be added with the original. So now it is a noisy. And noiseless means that they have no, that is the channel is the free. Okay, so when you sending the data, so data will be sent it, but anyhow any other except the noise that have, it may be happen that your error will be there. Okay, suppose you think about the your distortions. Okay, so when when our signal will be distorted, then your bit or your signal will be changed. That means that your bit to bits also will be changed. Okay, so no, that means that not extra your that is your signal or your data will be added with our original data. So this is called our noiseless, and noisy means that the extra bit will be added. Okay. That is you say that your signal way, so that is the signal, and signal is converted to your data actually. That is a signal means that a positive signal is that called your one, you know that one, your digital way, and the zero signal is the your that is the your digital your, that is bitwise, it is called the zero. Okay. Now if the channel is the suppose it is clean. Okay, clean means that there are no unwanted signal or your unwanted data is there. So now it is a noiseless, and noisy means that if it is present. Okay, so now if it is present of our channel, then you have to follow this three that is strategy, and then noiseless for that you have to follow these two. Okay, now come back to one by one. Is it clear though? Hello,
Yes,
is it clear?
Clear.
Okay. Now in the noiseless case, so in the noiseless case means that that is the no which is no frame are the lost or the duplicated or the your corrupted. Okay, so that means that your no actually that is the free. Okay, that is the so it okay. So in that case, suppose you have to follow there is a sender will be send the data you see, and the data will be passing, and then your data will be receiver will be receive this. Okay, so when the your request is coming from the your, then you have to check your algorithm wise. So that is your suppose our your that is when the sender will be sending, and then that this transmission time is the suppose x unit. Okay, now when you sending the sender your data in the a unit of time. Okay, a time. Okay, then your receiver will be receive this a plus x. So if the receiver is not received the a plus x, then there will be the problem will be arise. Okay, so now how can we understand that the receiver is received the a plus x? So sender is don't know the receiver is receiving or not. So that's why the receiver that is sending the acknowledgement to the sender. The sender is sending the message to the receiver. When the receiver receive this, then receiver also sending the acknowledgement to the sender, and then sender will be receive this. So so the your after the sending, so that is the your after the sending the your data or the message to the from the sender, then receiver receive this. So there will be the time. Okay, now after the receiving, then the receiver also send the your acknowledgement. So there have also the time is required, transmission time. Okay, so now this timing the sender sending the data and the sender will be received the your acknowledgement, then this time should be is equal to your depending on transmission time. Then you say though there have no error or no, that is the wireless. So that is the your noiseless. Sorry, that is the your noiseless. So or no error is there. Okay, so this is our algorithm. So you have to complete this. Okay, so now you check one by one. So these are the algorithm. So that whatever I say, that is a they have to suppose. So that's why it is the wait for event means that so the sender is wait for some time. Okay, so this is the your wait for event. Okay, now the your receiver receive this, and then they have to deliver the your data. Okay, now after that acknowledgement receipt, then sender again send the your second frame. Okay, so until and unless they is not receive the your acknowledgement from the your receiver, they cannot send the your second frame data. Okay, so this is your receiver end. Now you see the diagram. Okay, so now that is sender and the your receiver. Now the first, that is the first frame of the sending the request. Okay, now request is sending to the receiver, then after this your receiver also the sending the your acknowledgement. Okay, now after the receiver also send the your acknowledgement, then the sender is receive this, then they send the second frame. Okay, and then your receiver also the receive this, then you see. So after completion, the first, that is the your request, the sending and the acknowledgement receiving, then they take some time, then they have to send this your second frame. Next is the that is the stop and wait. Okay, so stop and wait is that. So what is the stop and what is the wait? Okay, so stop and wait protocol is used for, that is the your first the your sender is sending the data, first the sender is sending the data, and the receiver is receive the your frame. Okay, so when the sender is sending, so that time the your that is the your sender will be wait for few times, because the that is the your sender is receive this, and then then they have to deliver the data, or they have to process the data, then they have to check the your there is error is present or not, or the some of the case the some of the data will be may lost it. Okay, or they have to sequentially is received all the data or not. Okay, so they have to check it. Okay, then after the checking, your receiver send the your acknowledgement. So if it is a corrected, then they have to send the your ACK, but that is a acknowledgement. If it is not corrected, then then the your receiver send the NAQ. Okay, or NAC, that is the not acknowledgement. So receiver can send either your acknowledgement, either your not acknowledgement. So these two any of one message will be coming. Okay, so then that is the receiver, that is the your sender is receive this, and then they can understand. Then if they have to receive the your acknowledgement knowledge, the acknowledgement message, then they send the your next frame. Otherwise, they again send the your previous your frame. Okay, if it is the receive the your NAQ, that is the not acknowledgement, that means that your receiver is properly they cannot collect the your this frame. Okay, so that's why the sender again send the your this message. Okay, so this is called our stop and wait protocol. Okay, so so that means that wait for the few minutes until and unless they give the acknowledgement or the NAQ. Okay, any of one, they, if which one is that is the sender is received. If the sender is received the that is the acknowledgement, they send the proceed for the your next frame, or they or the your sender is received the NA, that is the not acknowledgement, they send the again resend it the your previous, that is the your previous message or the data that is the send from the your sender to your receiver. Okay, so this is our your stop and wait protocol. So this is happened. Clear? So, stop and wait. That means the sender is wait for few minutes. Okay, or they can stop. So it may be happen, suppose that if the sender is sending the data and then wait for few minutes, and again the sending the second frame. So this is not happen. Okay, so they have to send, and if it is collected, then or the it is okay, then they can send the receive the your acknowledgement, and they send the next that is the your frame. Okay, so this is happened. Okay, this is our algorithm. So they have to wait for this, and then if it is received your acknowledgement, that is the your false or true. Okay, if it is accepted, then they have to send the your for the next your acknowledgement, next messages. Okay. Okay, so you did this. Now So this is our this flow diagram. So there is you're sending the frame, then your sender will be received this acknowledgement. Then after this, the sender again your frame, okay, and then the acknowledgement. If it is received your that is a not acknowledgement, then can send again your previous frame data. Okay, and then your noisy channel. Okay, if there is a noisy channel is there, so in the noisy channel, so you see, so for the noisy channel you see, okay, so for the stop and wait, stop and your wait ARQ for this. So here you see in this diagram, so there is a sender and the receiver. Okay, now there have the bits of the data. Okay, now first your, so suppose 0 1, then 0 1 0 1, this for this example. Okay, now the sender is start. Okay, sender is start the first bit is 0, that is the frame 0 is send it. Okay, now in the receiver section, so receiver section, that is the your 0 is received. So if the 0 is received, then they send the your acknowledgement. Okay, so if they send the acknowledgement, then the sender is send the your next data, that is your frame of 1. Okay, now here you see, so some data is lost it. Okay, so in the middle data is lost it. So if the data is lost it, that means no acknowledgement is coming. Clear? So no acknowledgement is coming.
Sir,
Okay,
acknowledgement means আমি যে ডেটাটা পাঠাচ্ছি ওটাই কি আবার রিটার্ন আসবে, এসে ম্যাচ করে দেখবে?
ডেটা নয়, না ও আমি ডেটাটা পাঠালাম, ও রিসিভার কি করবে, রিসিভার পাঠাবে একটা মেসেজ যে ওকে আই এম রিসিভড দ্য ফ্রেম 1। ওকে, সো দিস মেসেজ অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট। সো এই অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট আবার দুটো ধরনের হয়, একটা অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট হয়, একটা নট অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট হয়। নট অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট হচ্ছে যেটা হচ্ছে আই এম নট রিসিভড। ওকে, মানে আই এম রিসিভড দ্য ইওর অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট। সো দিস এটা এলো, তার মানে আমি কি বুঝবো, সেন্ডার বুঝবে কি যে আমি যখন কোনো পোস্টের মাধ্যমে পাঠাতাম, একটা করে অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট আসতো কোনো একটা ফর্ম ফিল আপ করতে গেলে। আগে যখন বা অফিসিয়ালি যখন পাঠাতো হতো, একটা অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট কাগজ আসতো, তাই না? ওটা যাতে খামের মধ্যে থাকতো, ওটাকে আবার ওরা আবার সেন্ড করে দিত। তার মানে আমি বুঝতে পারতাম কি আমার ওইটা অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটা আর এই ফর্মটা আমার রিসিভ হয়েছে। সেইটাকে সেরকম সেই ঘটনাটা এখানে হয়। সেখানে সেন্ডার বুঝবে কি করে যে আমার ডেটা, ওকে, তাহলে ও তো অনেকগুলো ডেটা, তাই তো? এবারে এক একটা এতগুলো ফ্রেম আছে, ধর 0 একটা ফ্রেম হয়, প্রথম 0 ফ্রেমটা পাঠিয়েছে, সেটা রিসিভার রিসিভ করলো, রিসিভার ওটা অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট পাঠালো, তারপর বুঝতে পারলো ওকে সেটা পাঠিয়েছে, মানে পেয়েছি, তারপরেই তো আবার সেকেন্ডটা পাঠাবে, ঠিক আছে? বা যদি মাঝখানে, যেমন এখানে এক্সাম্পল দেখাচ্ছে, ইন দ্য ফ্রেম 1, so in the middle there have the lost the data, the frame 1 is lost. That means the receiver is not sending the your that is the your acknowledgement. কিন্তু সে কতক্ষণ ওয়েট করে থাকবে? হাউ মাচ টাইম সে দ্যাট ইজ দ্য সেন্ডার ইজ ওয়েট? তাহলে তো অনেকক্ষণ ধরে ওয়েট করে, অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট আসছে না, আমি তাহলে আবার সেন্ড করবো না, সেটা কি হতে পারে? তো সে কি করবে, সে বুঝতে পারছি কত নম্বর? তাহলে অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট আমার একটা পাওয়ার টাইম থাকবে। So there have the time. Okay, so this time, the starting time and the stopping time. Okay, so if within the time they receive the acknowledgement, then the sender can understand. So this is the message actually sending. Send it. Okay, কথাটা। So সেই টাইমটা আমরা মেজার করবো পরে, আসলে এগুলো বুঝি, তারপরে এগুলো মেজার করবো, কি মেজার করা হয় সেগুলো বলবো। তো এই যে মেজার মানে হচ্ছে ওই ট্রানজিশন টাইম। Okay, the sender is sending, the receiver within the transmission time they have to receive the data, and then again the যখন আমরা acknowledgement পাঠাচ্ছি সেটাও তো ট্রানজিশন টাইম লাগবে একটা, এন্ড মেসেজ যখন পাঠাচ্ছে সেটাও তো টাইম লাগবে। সো এই দুটো টাইমকে অ্যাড করে ও ওয়েট করে ততক্ষণ ধরে, সেটাই হচ্ছে ওয়েট। ওই যে স্টপ এন্ড ওয়েট বলছেন না, স্টপ করে আছে, ওয়েট করছে ততক্ষণ ধরে। ইফ ইট ইজ ওয়েট দ্য মোর দ্যান হয়ে যায় ওয়েটিংটা টাইম, waiting time is more than the wait time. Okay, then the sender can understand. So this is actually the some problem will be arise. That means the data is not sended or data will be not received. Okay, so তখন কি করবে? After that they have to, when the timeout will be there, the timeout means the timeout হয়ে গেল, তাই না? মানে within the time is not wait হলো, so then they send the this frame 1 again resend it. Okay, clear? Then আবার কি করলো, ওটাকে আবার ওটাকে অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট পেলো। সো এভাবে ওটাকে হয়। আবার কি হতে পারে, আরেকটা জিনিস দেখানো হয়েছে এখানে, দেখ যে অ্যাকনলেজমেন্টে লস্ট হতে পারে, মানে শুধু যে আমার ডেটাটা লস্ট হবে উইথ ইফ অনলি দ্য ডেটা ইজ লস্ট, ইট ইজ নট হ্যাপেন। সো ইট মে হ্যাপেন দ্য অ্যাকনলেজমেন্ট উইল বি লস্ট। অ্যাকনলেজমেন্টে তো লস্ট হতে পারে মেসেজটা যেটা আসছে। Okay, if the acknowledgement is lost, so it may be happen. So in কিভাবে এটা বুঝতে হবে যে acknowledgement lost হলো না ডেটা লস্ট হলো, তাই না? সো লাইক অ্যাকচুয়ালি এখানে acknowledgement লস্ট হোক আর ডেটাই লস্ট হোক, সো আমাকে আবার এটা এগেন মানে কি হচ্ছে, আবার কি হচ্ছে এখানে প্রবলেমটা উইল বি অ্যারাইজ দ্যাট। সো এটার জন্য আমার এখানে ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজ। সো acknowledgement যদি লস্ট হয়ে যায় আবার কি করবে, ও আবার ডেটাটা পাঠাবে, তাহলে ডেটাটা কি হবে, রিসিভার সেকশনে, in the receiver section the duplicate data will be collected. বুঝতে পারলি কথাটা আমার?
হ্যাঁ।
Clear? So when the suppose that your data is lost, so that is not a problem. Okay, that means that you can your sender is time will be lost, but the sender is sending the again the previous frame, that is previous frame they can send again. Okay, then your receiver is receive this. So but the acknowledgement will be the lost. That means that the receiver received the data and the sender is can understand the data is lost. So they can resend again the same data. So that's why the receiver is received that more one times in this data. The more times, okay? So that's why the duplicate data, the duplicacy, that is the your duplicate redundancy will be there. Okay, so that is the receiver received the same data in more than one times. Okay, so this is the your problem. Okay, this is the disadvantage of the stop and ARQ in ARQ. Okay, sorry, so stop and wait. Okay, this is the for the stop and wait ARQ. Yes. বুঝে গেছে সবাই? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. It is
Stop
clear.
and wait. Okay. Now for the calculation of the bandwidth, so go back and in ARQ. Okay, go back in ARQ. Okay. So in that case, you see, okay, you see, so this is your flow diagram of go back and in ARQ. So here that is the that is the start time, that is the one start time and your stop time is there. So not that is the, so here actually what happens, so the sender is sending all the data. Okay, suppose they send the one by one, so frame 1, frame 0, then after some delay, then they have to say frame 2. So that means that here that not wait for your acknowledgement. Okay, they sending the time wise. So frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3. Okay, so but here what happened, so if your that is your acknowledgement 1 is received within the time, okay, then acknowledgement is 2 is not received, that means that it is lost. Then what happened, they send again the that is your, suppose the acknowledgement 1 is received, then the acknowledgement 3 is received. Okay, so if the acknowledgement 3 is received and then or the 4 is received, then they can this not received by your 2, then they can send the again your 2 that is your frame, again they can send it. Okay, so which one is not received, they can send only this data in that case. Okay, so this is our go back and that means that you can back. Okay, go back means that you that is your receive your acknowledgement. When is not, when you not receive that, suppose the if you first receive the 1, then if you then receive your 3 acknowledgement. Okay, so you not receive your 2, then you again you have to resend your 2, so you have to go back. Okay, so you sending the up to your frame 4. Okay, so you send it. Okay, now if we, now after the 4 send you send your frame 4, then you not receive 2. You see. Okay, so they can again you can send the after the 4, then you can send the frame 2 again be sent. Okay, so this is a go back in ARQ. Meaning that means that you go back, you can backward. Okay, you send the n number of frames again. Okay, so this is happening to the our go back in ARQ. Okay, so you see. Okay, you see here also same thing. Okay, suppose your frame 2 is lost it, then the frame 2, frame 3, then again you resend the, if the your one is that is acknowledgement not received, then you send frame 1, frame 2, frame 3 again. Okay, then you have to receive the your acknowledgement 2, acknowledgement 3, and then acknowledgement 4, but one is not is the acknowledgement. So that are the problem. So you resend it. Okay, so this is our go back and n ARQ. So you resend the n number of frames. You can again you can resend it. Next is your stop and wait ARQ. Okay, stop and wait ARQ, and your go back and n ARQ. Okay, so this is completed. Now the your last one is that in there is a selective. You repeat n ARQ. So selective means that you have to okay. So this one selective means that, so here you see. So suppose you I am sending the your frame 0 first. Okay, now I have to receive the your acknowledgement. Okay, now you see. So so when the frame 1 is lost it. So now the your receiver receive the frame 2. So then receiver can understand. So so here the problem will be solved in the first case. Okay, that is a stop and wait ARQ. So now the receiver is receive the frame 2. So after frame 0, then receiver receive the frame 2. So that means receiver understand that frame 1 is lost it. Clear? They send the frame that is the 1 NAQ. AK, sorry, NAK, sorry, they send the that is not acknowledgement. Okay, they send the NAK. Okay, so that means that your sender is received the when they receive the NAK, then they can understand that your frame 1 is lost it. Okay, so now they send the frame 1 again, and then so it will be proceed. Okay, so now here the no that is the your duplicate data or the duplicacy will be arise. Okay, that means that so they that means that your sender receive the selective, so which is which the NAK is coming. Okay, from the your receiver. If the NAK is 1 is coming, that means that they send the your frame 1 again. Say they send the frame again. Okay, so this is our selective NAK. Okay, clear? This three. Last one is the stop and wait. So here the that is the disadvantage of the stop and wait will be resolved. Okay, so duplicate data will be not received into their receiver sections. Okay, so after this is clear, everyone. Hello.
Yes, sir.
हाँ बोलो, क्वेश्चन बोलो, डाउट. Any doubt? बोलो. Clear तो? Important for exam. In your semester exam, it is this three is very much important. Okay, this flow diagram. Okay, and what will be happened? Okay, and there is a problem also the arise, that is the your suppose the frame 0 is sending this time and the frame receiver receive this acknowledgement, then receive this. So what happens? So you draw the your flow diagram. Okay, so that means that if the sender is sending the this frame and receiver receive this and sending the acknowledgement, so these are the acknowledgement. Okay, now you draw the your this flow diagram. Okay, this type of questions. Okay, next is the your HDLC. Okay, so HDLC is the your high level data link control. So it is actually the use in your for the your bit oriented protocols for the your and it is implemented in our the multi-point link or the your point to point that is the link is connection is there. So, okay, so this time this protocol is actually used. So this is the your HDLC protocol. Okay, so now you see then in the HDLC there have the so many parts. Okay, so that is the your sender will be sending this, and you see so what are the so so these are the your HDLC. So there are two part so also, three parts also actually. So that is the your I frame part, S frame part, and the U frame. So in the HDLC frame there are three part is there. One part is your I frame, and second is your S frame, and the your U frame. So in the I frame portions, so in the I frame of the HDLC, so it is actually used for the your huge data. So when the your our the big size of data is there, so this time when you sending the suppose the larger size of the data, then we have to use the your I frame. Okay, so in that case, so they have used the your F that is the FCS, and the flag and the address means that your source address or the your so when you sending the your data, that means that we from the which source to which destination. So this address here actually use the MAC address actually, and then the control means that so which type of control what to use. So that means that the data is that is the your noisy channel or the your noiseless channel. Okay, so that's time. So you have to use. And FCS is there actually is used for your the error correction actually. Your if there is a why some of the bit error is there or not. So if there is a error is there, so we have to use the your FCS. Okay. So now so this is your I frame. Same way the your F frame also there. So in the F frame there are no user information is there. Okay. So here is you store the user information because in our larger data, so you know that is the your informations of the data. Okay, so that is that there are the so many your which data is used for, suppose it may be the audio, it may be video. Okay, so you have to store this information. Okay, and last one is the your U frame. So in the U frame network, that is the is used for the your management that to store. Okay, so management of information means that suppose when the your data will be sending. Okay, now in the suppose the your this audio conference. Okay, so now in the audio conference, so actually that your data or the your actually sending from the your user, that is a they all are connected. Okay, so in the video conference or the video, so now the your bit of the data is passing from the your sender to receiver or the receiver to sender, or there are the suppose so many your point is there, not the one sender on the one receiver. So so some of the case the some of the your users would be the sender, some of the case that may be your receiver. Okay, so now you have to management. So this management information they have to which that means that which is performing. So they have to manage this. Okay, so this they have to store this information or they have to manage in this way. Okay, so that means that U frame. So that time is the U frame is used. Yeah. Okay, these are the code types. So actually, in the U frame, they have used the different type of coding format. Okay, so they have to store this the different naming or the coding code format. Okay, so you have to store these commands also. So that means they have to if they have received the you see that is the your unnumbered your acknowledgement. So they have to say the code is the 00100. Okay, from this code you can understand. So this is problem will be arise. Okay, so this problem. Suppose the frame is rejected, means that your frame is rejected. So they can understand from this code. Okay, so there are the unique code is there. So from this code, so they can understand this. Okay. So these are the examples. Is not required. Gigabyte is not your syllabus. Okay. Now the point-to-point protocol. So point-to-point is that so when you have to communicate. So in the SDLC, so I have already that is the discuss. That is the this communication should be the your PPP, okay, point to point protocols. So here the your HDLC is actually used here. So point to point means that when you sending the data, so that is that your bitwise or the data wise, so they have to send from the one sender to your receiver. So but here the problem will be, suppose that if it is a point to point, so the only one point to other point, so they have no problem. But it is your multi point, okay, or the multi link you're there. So in this time the switching is required, okay. So you have to switch from the one point to other point. So if the 2 point is there, so they can sending it, okay. But that is a multi point. So that means that the some of the case, I have already discussed, that is the sender will be the sum of the point will be some of the case that is a act as a sender, some of the case they have to act as a your receiver, okay. So now this time the your this multi link or the multi point problem will be there. So address and the control is there, okay. Now they have to check your this PP. So which control will have to act as a sender, or that they have to act as a receiver, okay, or which type of, that is a noise less or noise is there, so they have to check it from this. And then address base mean that your this source address or the your destination address they have to store. Okay, so in the transition phase, so there have actually this phase, this life cycle is there, okay, or is happened. So what happened actually, that now in the first phase you have to establish your network connections. First you establish your network connections from your sender and the receiver. Then after your network connection, the next steps, the establishment, then you have to authenticate. You have to check your authentication. So that means that when you sending it, so that is actually work or not. Okay. If there is the authentication is successful. If it is a fail, then you have to terminate. Okay. If the authentication is successful, then you have to enter into the network, and then you have to open your network layer, or you have to configure it. So after completion, then again you have to come back to your terminate state. And there have you carried to your drop into your dead state. Then again you have to reconnect, or you have to establish their connections, and then again you have to authenticate, and then you have to enter into the network. Okay, so this is actually our transmission phase into your this data link layer. Okay, this is not required. This is the IP diagram. Okay, so same. Okay, that is the flag. Then here, and there have the header and the user part is there. Okay, so these payload portions. Okay, up to this. Okay, you tell me that any problem or any questions? Hello. Okay, now next your lab will be lab কটা বাজে 3:30 না 4:45 থেকে নেবো, ঠিক আছে ল্যাবটা 4:45 থেকে স্টার্ট করবো। ওকে, দেন আমি অ্যাসাইনমেন্টটা দিয়ে দেবো, তারপরে তোদের এটা আবার করবো। আর ইসা অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স নিয়ে নে, ক্লাসে অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স নিয়ে নে, ঠিক আছে। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
ओके,
इस अटेंडेंस ले ली ना? ठीक है, ओके।